Avoiding delays during the application process is going to be key to getting your USA passport as quickly as possible. So here are my 9 best tips to help you get your passport fast. So my first tip for getting your USA passport as fast as possible is that you don't send an application with any mistakes on it. This means if you're filling it out by hand, you want to use black ink only, and I like to write in big block letters so it's super legible. And if you make any mistakes on the paper, don't cross it out, don't make any X marks, anything like that, you have to start over and get a new fresh application. However, you don't have to go all the way back to the acceptance facility or the post office to get your application. You can actually just download one online, or you could even use their online form filler to fill out the DS-11. The second way to avoid any delays in getting your USA passport is to make sure that you know exactly how much your services are going to cost. The new passport book costs $130, the passport card costs $30, and the execution fee is now $35. And there's an expedited processing fee of $60, as well as an expedited shipping fee of $18.32. So depending on what services you're using, you're going to want to make sure that you send in the proper amount of money via check or money order, and you want to make that out to the US Department of State. If you mess any of that up, that could delay your passport. My third tip for avoiding delays when getting your USA passport is to have your picture professionally taken. Now, you could have this done at the acceptance facility, like the post office, or you could have it done at a place like Walgreens or CVS. However, when I've used those private businesses, I've noticed that sometimes the photos just aren't up to par. So if you're going to use them, then make sure that you double check the photos, make sure it's a nice clear photo, and that there's no shadows crossing your face or any big shadows behind you either. Now, you could also just take your picture yourself. I do that. Make sure that you're just wearing the proper colors, that you have your hair set in the proper way, that you have the proper lighting, and that you measure the photo so it's the right size. And I do have another video about how to take a proper photo of yourself. I'll link you to that at the end of this one. And the fourth best way to avoid delays in getting your USA passport is to like this video. Like. Just kidding, you're not gonna get your USA passport any faster doing that, but I do appreciate the support. The real fourth way to avoid delays when getting your USA passport is to make sure that you understand that there's more than one way to apply and that you're actually using the correct application form. There's the DS-11, that's generally for people who are applying for the first time, and there's the DS-82, which is typically used for renewals and only used if you answer no to all of these questions. Are you applying for your first USA passport? Are you under age 16? Was your previous US passport issued when you were 16 or younger? Was your previous US passport lost, stolen, or damaged? And was your previous USA passport issued more than 15 years ago? If you answered yes to any of those questions, typically you're going back to the DS-11. And that leads me to my question of the day, which is, are you trying to apply for your passport using the DS-11 or the DS-82? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're not really sure, because there are still other ways to apply, then I will link you to another video at the end of this one that will talk to you about which application form you should use. The fifth way to make sure that you avoid delays when renewing your passport with the DS-82 is to make sure that you write the word expedite on the outside of the application envelope. Include that with the fee that you pay for the expedition, or otherwise your passport could get lost in the shuffle. Big letters on the outside of your envelope, expedite. The sixth way that you're going to avoid any delays in getting your USA passport is to make sure that you provide the original documents necessary or the certified copies, and you want to provide printed copies of them as well. They should be single-sided copies, black and white ink with 8.5-inch by 11-inch paper. My seventh tip for avoiding delays in getting your passport as quick as possible is to use either a passport expediter or a courier service. Now, I don't have any that I can specifically recommend to you because I usually just do this all on my own, and I would only recommend this to you if you are super overwhelmed and struggle with organizing stuff like this. Otherwise, getting your passport is a relatively simple bureaucratic process, and I have enough videos on this channel that you can utilize in order to make it simple for you. Just make sure you look for my playlist about getting a USA passport. Number 8 is to plan ahead and apply early. Obviously, this can take up to 11 weeks, if not more, if there are any mistakes in the application. So just get started as soon as you can, possibly 3 months before you even plan on traveling. And my ninth and final tip for getting your USA passport as fast as possible is to take advantage of all of their expedited services. For example, you can pay for expedited processing to go from 8 to 11 weeks down to 5 to 7 weeks for processing time. You can also pay an additional fee to get their 1 to 2 day expedited shipping as well. And in situations where there's a life or death emergency, emergency or there are urgent travel needs, there are special programs that you can use in that situation. And if you're interested in that stuff, then I'll link up in the card, so at the end of this video, you can check out my video on how to get your USA passport as fast as possible, so you can see just how to use those services. Moreover, if you're simply renewing a passport instead of getting your first one, well, there are ways to speed that up as well. And they've even recently started a pilot program for online renewals for the USA passport, so you can check out that video as well. So I told you I would link you to some videos at the end. I'll put them up here, including my playlist over here that's all about getting a USA passport.